I am just in disbelief. I cannot believe that these 4 years flew by as fast as they did. It's unreal to me that I'm standing here in this pier where I watched so many of my predecessors graduate, and it doesn't feel real yet.
I was one of those kids that always knew they wanted to be a doctor. That was like wearing the little white coat and stethoscope when they were like 4 years old. It's always been my dream, so it's really surreal to finally be doing it.
Graduating from medical school is this fantastic culmination of a bunch of memories and the journey that we've been on for the last 4 years. Starting in the pandemic was incredibly difficult for all of us. To have gone through it together and make those relationships that are going to persist beyond medical school is incredibly special and humbling.
What stands out to me the most from my time here at Feinberg are caring for the patients that I've had the pleasure of taking care of. I'm so grateful that I've had the chance to be a part of people's lives as a medical student and make a difference.
One of the things that I loved about my medical school experience was how open and how welcoming all of the clinicians that I worked with were. Very early on, you're integrated into the healthcare system, which I think is pretty unique about Northwestern, and I felt like I was part of the team right from the beginning.
I'm incredibly grateful for all of the mentorship I've received from Feinberg. Coming in, trying to decide on a specialty is a really daunting process, and I've always had people supporting me and in my corner from the very first day.
I've been fortunate to have so many amazing mentors during my time here as a student at Feinberg. I connected with some mentors early on within ophthalmology as an M1 and continued to form those relationships over time. And I'm looking forward to continuing to be able to work with them as a resident in ophthalmology here at Northwestern.
I know for a fact that because of the journey that I've been on here, both from the preclinical years through the clinical rotations, having gone through just so much, just seeing a wide breadth of what medicine can offer, that I'll be ready for the next phase.